Alright, I'm gonna just save it in the middle. Oh, you can't save. Okay. You can't save in the heat of battle.
You will die!
This ends here, Ranrock.
You think you can stop me?
It's annoying me that okay, hold on.
Fight well defeat you. In Lockdock's memory.
We'll never wreck this palace with me! Never!
Defender. Bombard.
I didn't even find a werewolf I'm pushing. I saw some over here.
Defender. Bombard. Places. Akir.
Whoa, what is that?
Defender.
Joker's tree just like Batman Arkham Knight. He has such a big attacker, it's not even fun. Now.
This is for Professor Fig. My spells are not working at the time. Oh my gosh. Woo.
Professor.
Miriam. Miriam would have loved you, my young friend. The wizarding world could not be in more capable hands.
Here you go. Here you go. Why every boss got like a second form? Why not you just find me your normal form? A form that you can control, not like this dragon, beast, whatever.
Professor Eleazar Fig. I dare say he was a beloved professor to many of you, certainly a long-standing colleague to his peers. A famed adventurer and seeker of knowledge, he built a reputation charging into the unknown, brazenly disregarding both discretion and safety, providing perhaps a rather unfortunate lesson for us all. His devotion to adventure was rivaled only by his dedication to Hogwarts. And of course, to his wife, Miriam, whom we lost much too soon as well. Yeah.
Professor Fig represented the best of all of us. He could be deviously clever, possessed a brilliantly inquisitive mind, and was the most loyal of friends. But perhaps it was his remarkable courage, for which we will all be forever indebted to him. If not for Professor Fig, well, I can say with confidence that if not for him, many of us, let alone Hogwarts, would not be here today. Those that knew him best will agree that we must now honor him as only Hogwarts can, by wisely, resourcefully, justly, and bravely facing all that lies ahead.
To Professor Fig!
Can't believe we lost Fig. I didn't know him as well as you did, but I know he was a good man.
What are we talking
Glad
to
Weasley
about?
spoke for him. She honored him well. Fig will be well remembered.
Sebastian, there's something you should know. It's to do with Victor Rookwood.
I heard a rumor that he confronted you outside of Ollivander's. Sounds as if you faced quite a fight.
The rumors are true, and I did, but it's not that. Just before Rookwood attacked, he uttered something familiar. The same words Anne heard before she was cursed. Children should be seen and not heard.
Wait, what are you saying?
It wasn't one of Ranrock's loyalists who cursed Anne. It was Rookwood. It was Rookwood all along.
This can't be. It was the Loyalists. It's always been them. The night Anne was cursed, all she saw were goblins.
Once Rookwood allied with Ranrock, Isadora's estate became of interest to them both. That's why Rookwood was there the night Anne was cursed. He was working with Ranrock. When he saw your sister, well, he didn't want anyone to know.
So he cursed her. and she's never been the same. So cruel. Rookwood deserved what he got. Thank you for telling me.
F them kids.
It wasn't a goblin. I suppose I owe you an apology. All this time I thought goblins were the enemy. But it was never that simple. I have a lot to think about. Let's speak again soon.
Oh, that's the last time we speaking. Why I got a tape measure around my head? Alright, I finally get to criticize the game for its pros and cons at last. In the spring. So we came in late summer or summer, fall, winter, and spring. That's kind of cool to see all 4 seasons turn over. Alright. So, let me say first. Congratulations, you completed so Hogwarts to reach the end of your school year. With your OWL exams fast approaching, now is a good time to review your field guide progress, explore the world finish, and remaining relationship storylines and side quests, and complete your field guide as you see fit. Yeah, see, I'm not gonna do all that. That's extra work, and this game will slowly, eagerly make me upsetty spaghetti. What do I say? It took me about 22 hours to beat this. I'm impressed. So I'm going outside for this. Wait a minute. I would teleport, but I'm teleporting. Okay, I'm not gonna do this to myself. Just rip to the side. There we go. Personally, the ending would have been more fitting if he showed up to his grave and like retrieved something that Fig had. Alright. So, how do I feel about the game? It's fun. It's fun for the first 15 hours, I'll say that much. And after a while, it gets to become very, very irritating. Really, really fast. And that is because it's just well, let me start. First, the game's fun. It is by far the most whimsical little video game I've played in a hot minute that I actually have fun in a long time. It definitely has like a big replay value. If you're like a big Harry Potter fan, then yeah, this game is perfectly for you. But you just don't really care about the story or the books, let alone the game. You just kind of just playing it because you bought it. That's kind of the other half of the audience at the moment. It's definitely fun though. I did feel the story took a shift. Like, you know, he was trying to stop Redna and his loyalists, and it's just like it just evolved into this kind of go here, go there, go back here, go there again. It's kind of the same troubles and problems that GTA 5 had, which was the whole back and forth system of doing one mission here, and then let's see, let me give you like an example. So like, let's say like you have a mission in Hogwarts, right? And then they'll have you do a mission outside Hogwarts, and then they have you go back inside Hogwarts and do the mission again. You know, it's just very rinse and repeat. All the side quests, I'm not doing them, okay? They're just so out of the way. They don't really, I didn't know I had like a mission. They don't really contribute to your progression of the game. Like, they help a little bit, but that's it. Like, I feel like you should have been able to spam a lot of the spells instead of having constant recharges. You know, because there's a lot to remember when you're in fights, and you have to like stop and stare at your bottom right screen to make sure you're not performing the wrong spell. You know, you want to make sure you performing the right spell. It's just like, it's a lot to ingest. and the fact that you can't spam certain spells is silly. I was gonna teleport inside. I was gonna try to go inside and like, you know, figure out, but you know, I just want to see where she had to say. I was gonna find a point to sit up in, but I ain't really finding that. You know, this game gives a lot of Elden
Resource
Ring
indeed, your
vibes.
field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
Let's see what she has to say real quick. What you want?
Professor Weasley? You wanted to see me?
I did. We haven't had a chance to speak since I know you were quite close with Professor Fig.
Hogwarts won't be the same without him.
No, it won't. But I can assure you that he would want us to press on, and that he would rest easy knowing that the future of the wizarding world is in hands like yours.
Thank you, Professor.
You've had quite a year, both inside and outside of Hogwarts. I've heard all sorts of rumors. You've ridden a graphorn, befriended a goblin, rescued hippogriffs, even took it upon yourself to help Professor Black's house elf.
How did you...
It's harder to keep secrets around here than one might suspect. I'm just glad you found such a good friend in Mr. Sallow. I believe it's been a difficult year for him. He was lucky to have you.
Thank you, Professor.
No need to discuss it further. What I would like to discuss is your wizard's field guide. May I see it?
Of course.
Why can't I just hand it to her?
What do you think, Professor?
I think you've been busy this year. I see some progress here, but quite a bit of your field guide has yet to be completed. Fortunately, you do have some time to prepare for your OWLs. I will confess, I had a sense about you from that first moment you came bursting in, late, to the sorting ceremony. I am pleased to see that my instincts were correct. To think you've only been with us a year and you'll already be taking your OWLs, well, it's nothing short of astonishing.
Thank you, Professor, for everything.
You are most welcome. I look forward to seeing what you do during the rest of your time with us.
Dear Professor Woods, thank you for your OWL. I am overjoyed to hear that this most recent crop of 7 years include a number of students who may be both interested in and well suited for a career at the Ministry. Of course, their OWLs will provide confirmation of the latter, but equally invaluable to our recruitment process is your opinion. You have a unique perspective given your experience with us, and for that I am truly grateful. I look forward to further updates as the term progresses. Respectfully yours, Fair Sutherland, Minister for Magic Elected. Alright. Still getting trash equipment. Alright, so. Oh, is that the mission for reach level 34? Yeah, I ain't doing all that. Okay, basically to get to level 34 you have to do all the side quests and missions, because that's the only way. I'm trying to find like a point to sit and rant about the game, because I want to take like a good moment. Well, I would say mostly this game is very detailed. Like, not like Elden Ring. Elden Ring is just a lot of mess here and there. But this game definitely is detailed. I will say that much. And it does a good job at you know, like detail wise. It's good looking, I guess. Start down here. I just wanted to be somewhere where I can kind of look and vegetate. But basically, let me get the water. This game, it's fun. It's just I had a harder time to appreciate the game because with time, I just started getting more and more annoyed at the mechanics. Like you can't spam spells. That's like the biggest gripe. A lot of the spells suck. Okay. Like these have been cool to get, but you had to do a bunch of side quests to get these. Then what's the point of the flipping talents? Okay, like you can't even buy a better one. You just stuck with it. None of your spells do enough damage. It's just a lot of disappointing factors about the game. Um, the challenges are not worth doing a lot of times because they give you cosmetics, and a lot of them are not cool cosmetics. So I could care less about the cosmetics. Um, the fact that I even got 30% completed in this game is impressive. Um, the story's not bad. I feel like some of the bosses could have been better. Like Ranrock just easily got vanquished. Probably the most disappointing boss fight. A lot of the boss fights are actually quite disappointing. Actually, Ranrock, his boss fight was a little more interesting, but clunky. That was my problem with it. It was clunky because he would kind of just bombast you, and his attack box is quite big. We have to over dodge. You have to over compensate because of how big his hitbox is. And so when fighting him, it kind of reminds you of one of Arkham Knight's boss battles. It just kind of gives you that feel. It doesn't. This game doesn't have this unique feeling. Like the Elden Ring has a unique feeling. Um, Rust, every major video game out there, they all have a unique feelings and impressions. But this game reminds you of other games that Warner Bros. Have conducted, and it definitely gives you an Arkham Knights feel to it, and that's so hard to overlook. I've never played Arkham Knights, but I remember watching somebody play through it, and I was like, okay, this what this kind of reminds me of. Rookwood's battle just so short lived. Just kind of like he was like a villain character, but like a side character. Also, it would have been kind of impressive to see his spell book get dropped on how to reverse that spell that he did on Anne. That would have made his death more rewarding than this forever to be unless you do all the other side quests, which is quite a few. I ain't gonna do it. Um, Missions because it just doesn't necessarily drive the story forward. Yeah, it drives the story forward for those who are dedicated to playing, reading, and watching the series, but I'm not interested in all of that. Let's see. I do feel that the fact that you can't skip cutscenes makes it harder to enjoy the game because there's like some cutscenes that I've already seen and I have to rewatch them again. And then there was a skip option for one cutscene, but when you go to the other, it doesn't give you the skip option. I'm just like, this is cool, but forcing the player to basically rewatch the work that the developers put into the game is frustrating. I don't care if this is like intended for children. I don't think so. I think this is intended for teens or higher because people are dying. There's death. There's just overall a volume of something past intense. Something is being statistic. Um, you know, all the beasts and stuff. The armor sucks. This is by far the most disappointing game of armor I've ever seen. It's just like a new armor you got it just sucks. Like you might as well just stick with the armor you got, buff it to no hell, and then be content with what you have. The spells also a lot of them did suck. Like the Lavioso, like yellow and purple spells didn't really serve much of a purpose. They were just there as a utility more than an attack. The red spells are there for attack, but you only get so many of these. Or do you just get more and I just haven't locked them all? That might be it. Um, but I'm not willing to I'm not willing to like go through the whole speed of playing this game and trying to figure out to, you know, do damage. I'm pretty sure there's more spells in here. I just haven't felt like it. But you know, this is just overall. I give this game a 7 out of 10. You know, the voice acting for the main character. I'm not sure if it's just my selection or that's just how he sounds. But it sounds so robotic. Everybody else has like a distinct voice. Weasley, Black, Fig, and then you got the main character who just has this robotic voice. I'm like, you can just get like an actor and just have somebody play the voice. You'd use AI to create this voice for this character. It's just, um, yeah, it's an okay game. Will I play it again? No. Oh no. This is. It took me 22 hours to beat it, and the latter half of those hours, I started to lose interest in it. Like when I'm done with this recording, most likely I'm gonna uninstall it, get my 70 gigabytes of space back, and just kind of like sit for a minute. I suppose I don't know, but it to me, I mean, if you want somebody to play and have a little fun, it would be more intriguing, more interesting if it was multiplayer, where you have at max 8 people on each server, and you can do the same thing that happens in Star Wars, where basically you can come up to people and join in on their quest or whatever during their timeline. You know, instead of being on your timeline because you run the server's being hosted by you. I think that would have been interesting to see, and that would make the game a little more whimsical. But of course, they're not gonna do all that. But it would have been pretty cool. But who knows? I might come back if there's a mod that makes the wand practically one shot. Then yes, I will. Because a lot of enemies took way longer to beat. Even though I was like above their level, it's just forever to beat. And I'm just like, yeah, this takes too long. Also, Professor Fig's death feels forced than necessary. How the flip? Even he fell. How the flip does him using his wand power causes him to die? Like what? Like hey yo. And then also my biggest pet peeve about this game, having the main character tell all this information to all the other side characters without your permission is so frustrating. I'm like, why are we telling Sebastian all this? He's not gonna understand because at the time, his whole right was to get back at the Goblin. So no matter what you said, if you said anything that was pro Goblin, he was gonna have a hissy fit. So it's just why? Why would we share all this information? You know, I think the story could have went better if they gave players the option to just be silent or choose not to speak on it, you know. Or you could have players choose the evil task, because now everybody wants to see the world in peace. Some people want to see the world burn, like this bad boy. And so it would have been nice to see the evil line where you get to team up with Ragnar and his daughters and see where it went, you know. But lazy writing, does that. So anybody want? I would strongly recommend buying the game on sale, not buying it at full price. You know, because full price is just not as worth it to me. Okay, that's just to me. So I started on the 3rd, and it's the 29th of June. This took me about 26 days to beat. And that's just playing on and off. This is not playing consistently. Can't play this game consistently. It's just the inventory is kind of pointless because you can't really do nothing with half these creatures. That's cool, you got a beast, but what else? You get all these little extra stuff. These are mission stuff. Okay, that's it. You get all these journals, which are cool, but they're not in order. So, what? No, they might be in order. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're not. So you got 3 through 6. You know, I do like the menu song is nice, but it's just I'm not willing to go the extra mile. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. You know, some people are. I give power to them, but I'm just not willing to go the extra mile to complete the game. It's like playing Assassin's Creed at that point, when you try to get out the collectibles and junk. I do feel the talents could have been more impressive, where they could actually benefit your damage instead of the effectiveness with spells. Just give them like more damage. I want to sit there and spam the same quick attack on one enemy for 40 hours and do little bits of health. You know. So I wasn't gonna collect all the brooms because brooms are hella expensive. You know, we got all these little missions. Yeah, see, that's the house cup. Yeah, that's like 34. Yeah, that take a while. I ain't gonna do it. You know, stuff arena, like useless spells. You know, I mean, all these just like appearances go. Nothing exciting. You know, nothing about any of this is exciting for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna do all these missions. Because these are all the completed missions, and there's a lot of missions in its own self. I'm not gonna do all that. That's extra work. You know, it's cool. You know, you can't hear the audio no more. Well, I want to hear the audio. Yeah. But the music, the menu, especially this portion of the song, I like the most. Um, I'm just happy I completed it. You know, now I can just see like what's the cosmetics don't mean like the appearance. Hold on. I gotta use my joystick to, and then there's no preview. You have to change it to the appearance that you want it to, and I think that's kind of silly. Okay, that was cool. I would have wore that one a little bit earlier, but it takes away the whole charm of the game. I feel if you just start wearing the appearance over just the randomness of stuff, you know. That's just how I feel about it. I guess if you care about cosmetics that much, I guess it'd be something worthwhile. I don't really care for it too tough. I'm just only putting the cosmetics on because, you know, we got into that point in the game where might as well, you know, just, I guess. Oh well, 7 out of 10. Would I recommend people to play it? If you enjoy flipping Hogwarts, anything Harry Potter, sure, play it. You might get more joy out of it than I did. You know, fun, just frustrating towards the end. Alright, but this is your host, Lonezewolf, I suppose. I hate pronouncing my own username. It sounds cringy. But, you know, it's completed. It's not as rewarding as some games, but that's probably because that's just me more than anything. But yeah, thank you.